Eli, the barrel boy of the old town, sells coal and marigolds, and he cries out all down the day. Below the tamaracks he is crying, corn cobs and candle wax for the buying, all down the day. Would I could afford to buy my love a fine robe made of gold and silk, Arabian thread.
Happy Homebrew Wednesday. Well, it's actually a Sunday for me, but neither, or it is a brew day. It was a brew day. I brewed a blonde ale today. It was, I call it the lawnmower fuel. It's basically like a 3.5% beer, and it gets you through those days where you're out there mowing and doing basically yard work. Yeah, and it's an exciting day for me on the brew day because it's actually my second brew day on this new system I built. Prior to this, I had basically a 5-gallon pail and with a tap on it and a mash tun, and that was my brew system just on the stovetop. I've been actually brewing now for just over a year. Someone at work actually pulled me aside and said, "Hey, you should start brewing." And I was like, well, okay, you know, and I was thinking I really don't want to do kits. Like, I didn't really want to do, like, you know, dump the juice, pitch the yeast, and go. It's not my style. Nothing wrong with it, just not my style. But he's like, no, I do all grain. You know, it's all from the grain. You know, it's kind of intriguing. Oh, it's cool. So I went over to his place. We did a brew day together, and from there I was hooked. You know, I was like, okay, I got to start doing this. This is fun. So yeah, there it was. I drove in, started brewing, and here I am. So anyway, yeah, so I'm going to start recording myself doing these brew days and just kind of, you know, throwing it out there for the community so, you know, I pass on whatever I learn. And it's not much, but, you know, hey, there it is. And if you're enjoying it, then hey, watch the videos, have fun. Cool. Happy Wednesday brew day.
Here's the brewery, hot liquor tank, mash tun, boil kettle. All hooked up, heating the hot water right now. I like to boil it all the way to 200, and then I'll bring it, transfer it in to the mash tun, and transfer it down to the kettle. Once it ends up going into the kettle, then I'll basically be using this tap here and filling the amount of water that I do need for each session, and I'll be moving it back up through a 4-gallon jug to the hot liquor tank, and then be able to run my water in to do my first mash. And during that time I'll have more water in the kettle, which I'll calculate again to do my sparge, bring it back up to the hot liquor, and then start running my sparge all the way through the system. So right now we're in the process of just transferring the hot water through the hot liquor tank, the hot liquor, into this mash tun. And you can see, oh, that's hot. You can see there's quite a bit of water in there already. And I'm just going to start moving it now over to the other connection here. And now we'll see that it's dripping. Go into there. A reason why I'm boiling my water and my hot liquor and then running it through my system and collecting it in this tank before I start my process and measuring off this tank basically like so I can measure off the tap and then bring it up to the top is that it kind of cleans the system, which you don't really have to worry about, but it does. Second is that I'm heating up this mash tun with the water in here as I'm keeping it closed, so it's actually getting nice and warm in here, so when I mix my grain bed I'm going to get more efficiency on maintaining my heat. And it allows me a very easy way, again, to collect the water that I need and move it back up to the top here and dump it in there to measure for my fly sparging or for my mash. So I just find it a nice, clean, simple system. it kind of warms up the system, gets it ready to go, and makes my day a lot easier. Okay, so I added some cold water because I was pretty hot. I mean, we're sitting at 100. I need a 168 to transfer into my mash tun here to hit my strike water, and I'm sitting above 190, and I'd add it in. So right now in the boil kettle, you can see we're looking at just about 160. So I'm just heating it up here, and then I'll transfer it over to start the mash. Everything's going smooth. So I got some hot water sitting in the kettle for cleaning. I've already done the mash and the sparge. We're on the boil process. I kind of skipped a whole bunch. I got some blocks here because it's pretty windy, so it's just helping the flame not bounce around so much. As you see, I'm boiling off right now. If you can see that from the light. Had some propane issues, so I just swapped some propane around. And I wasn't quite ready for my hops, so it kind of broke up my recording. But as you can see, we're in the last stage here, just second last stage here of just boiling. And everything's going pretty smooth right now. Again, just added some wood there to protect it from the wind. Other than that, second brew on this system is working great. Okay, so here's my carboy that I've got sanitized in there, and you can see all the foam is all ready to go. I've got some sanitized actually in the hot liquor tank, so I can run it through my wort chiller. We're steeping some hops in there right now at about 150. We've got about 10 more minutes to go. And actually this was running at about 200 of course off the boil. So what I did is I moved it over to the table there, and I just had the cold water line here, and I basically had it just running and pouring it on the edges of the pot to chill it out quickly, just so I can get it down to about 150, 160, because that's kind of where I wanted to steep it at. Not steep it right after boil, but I want to chill it first and then steep it at the temperature. So we're almost done. I think we've got about 5 more minutes left, and then we'll be running into the wort chiller, bringing it down to pitching temperature. So we're done. We're moving the wort down. You can see we're actually coming out about 60, just a little bit above 60. I wouldn't mind bringing that up, but it's getting chilled. It's coming in quickly. We'll probably fill that in a few minutes, and we're ready to pitch our yeast. Yeah, you can actually tell I've got this as a water out, but I'm actually running the water in from here because the water is so cold here. I can actually run it with the same flow as the wort, and it still comes out at a good temperature. Plus, again, we're only sitting at about 145 or so it's not much of a chill. But even the other day when I was chilling it at 180 coming out, it was basically coming out at about 70 degrees, so it's perfect. Fahrenheit, that is. Okay, there we are. So it's pitched. We're sitting at what, 72 right now for the yeast. We're running 1056 for the yeast. I'm not sure what the temperature is for that, but there you go. Ready to clean it up. And my brew kettles and everything all set up here, clean. I just got to put, hard to see there, but there you go. Put the rest of the stuff away. And another.
Eli, the barrel boy of the old town, sells coal and marigolds, and he cries out all down the day. Below the tamaracks he is crying, corn cobs and candle wax for the buying all down the day. Would I could afford to buy my love a fine robe made of gold and silk, Arabian thread.